Yeah, there is the analogy about the little doll made of salt that wants to check the depth of the ocean. And it
Mm-hmm.
goes on a little rope, and every time it gets the deep in the ocean, a little bit of that salt of which it is made of dissolves. Every time it gets the taste of the ocean, there's less of the salty dough until eventually there is nothing left, just the
Yeah,
ocean.
I'm having problems with accepting that anger's okay. I've been brought up Catholic,
Mm.
and I've also dabbled in Buddhism. And in Buddhism, anger is one of the, is it five poisons or three poisons? I don't know. Um, so there's a real sort of anti-anger thing with Buddhism. So it's kind of ingrained in me that anger is not a good thing, and I need to sort of get rid of it. Um, and I can see
That's the
that.
You
paradox.
know, there's a poem by Rumi. Did you ever hear read the poem, The Guest House by Rumi? He
Tell
said
us.
all these
No.
emotions, they're just tourists, they're just visitors. And I think anger is one of the things that people are most afraid of. If there's a
Yeah.
fear when there's anger, because a lot of people get angry because they're scared. But there's other reasons, but just anger itself, people are afraid of that emotion. And I really liked what you said, Michelle, I think it is,
Yeah.
that, you know, the anger didn't dissipate right away. And why should it just, you know, have a certain duration? Why can't it last? We want love to last and happiness to last. Why can't the anger be there for a little bit? But
Yeah.
what's the beauty of what Kat's saying is that we write a narrative about it, and we're trying to make what's happening not happen anymore. But let it play out and watch how the mind is writing a story about what's happening. And you're already noticing that. Most people never notice that. They're in their thoughts, they're in their emotions. There's no sense of awareness of it. There's not that empty space, that impersonal awareness of what's happening. It becomes very personal because I'm angry and I have to stop it and I don't like it and this is my story about it. So if you take that personal part and notice how quickly the mind comes in, it's so fast, you don't even have a second, and claims it and says, I'm
Yeah.
angry, I don't like it, and I did it, and it becomes personal now. That's the awareness is personal awareness.
Mm.
But what you
Mm.
truly are is the impersonal awareness, and the way to differentiate between the two is that the impersonal awareness is just, it doesn't have any differentiation of what's happening. It doesn't say, like Kat was saying, it's not anger, it's not all these labels in the story, it's just what's happening. Even your response, even the narration, even the claiming, it's watching all of that. There's a sense of allowance to what is. So then when that awareness becomes fixated or focused on the situation, it's still the same awareness, it's still what's happening, it's just it's a little more fixated. It's not that impersonal, or
Yeah.
it's just awareness being personal, but it's still not you. It's
Yeah.
just claiming to be you. It's claiming that I, Michelle, am angry and I did it and I don't like it and I want to stop and this is what I'm going to do to make it stop. And then you live in this thought process, which is actually just, and thoughts are appearances that come and go. So you're living in this illusory world that you're creating about what's happening. And it's a personal world. It's one you're creating about
Yeah.
what's happening. And I love the story, it's a short one, about a child who sees a bird for the first time. It doesn't know it's a bird. It doesn't even know what it is, but it's totally present to it. And then somebody comes over and says, hey, that's a bird. From the time you're born, this is that, this is this, this is that, this is this. And now that child doesn't live in what is anymore. It's living in its thoughts about what is. So from a very early age, we're
Yeah.
taken from this, and now we're labeling and telling stories. So we're in this awareness of this thinking personal mind. And we're beating
Yeah.
ourselves up for what is naturally happening because you're not creating the anger. Anger's arising. You're not creating the story. A narration is arising. It's all happening. But the beauty of these talks is that we get to see how we're making it personal and claiming it as a separate entity, that this is happening to me, and I'm responsible, and I can change it, and I made it happen, and I can let it go. So this what you were talking about earlier is the process that this mind has of claiming what is defeat personal. And that's, to me, that's all in the mind. It's all a narration.
Yeah.
And your thoughts aren't true.
Yeah.
They're just an interpretation. And we're taking it to be true. And it's absolutely not. It's just it's a futile attempt. It's a ridiculous attempt to explain what is. And we're taking it to be true, and we're taking it to be who we are. And you're noticing that. And the more you notice that, the less effect it's going to have, and the less claiming, the less the attention's going to go to that claiming, narrating mind and claiming this is me, the more you're going to relax back into that awareness that it's just this is happening, for good or bad. And don't even label it that.
Yeah. So you're not saying, you're saying don't sort of control it when it happens, because I really don't like it when it happens. It feels really
notice
unpleasant.
that it's not don't control, don't do that. There's no shoulds or shouldn't. It's what's happening. You're noticing there's this desire to control it. Take the I out of it. So if you have, and I love this example, if you have the word money, and you have the word house, and you have the word boyfriend or husband, and those are just words, right? They really don't mean much. But when you add the word my money, and my house, and my boyfriend or girlfriend, it changes the whole communication. So what we're saying is, it's not something that you can or can't do. It's a recognition that it's happening and rising spontaneously now. And then watch how the narration it's so fast. It's so fast. It's like, bam, that claiming and the storytelling about it. That's what you want to notice, and there's this releasing of that. And if you want to call it distancing from that narration into this openness and acceptance of what is, instead of this small contracted story about what is. It's huge. So you go from thinking about what's happening to the awareness of what's happening, but that includes the thinking. But you're not jumping on board and claiming the thinking as my thinking. So that thinking doesn't pull you in. You're not associated with that. That's not how you're living your life, from this very small, contracted place called thinking, which isn't really, that's just a tiny part of what's happening. But we've taken it to be everything and who we are. So we go from thinking about what's happening and living in this thought construct to the awareness of what's happening. It's a subtle thing, but it's huge. It's absolutely, so anger can be there, sadness, talking, narrating, but it's not you. It's just what's happening. And it's not just what's happening. It's amazing. It's happening.
I'd love to get to that point where I'm noticing it, like I'm aware of it, but there's no need to control it. There's an incredible need to control the process at the moment. So I can see it, and it doesn't feel good to be in that in the me space with the narrative that's causing upset. But I can see it, and I'm aware of it from a sort of a I guess detached sort of aspect. But there's that other layer of wanting to control it, which is just another aspect of the me, isn't it? Yeah.
It's awareness pretending to be you that wants to control and fix it. There's no you there at all. It's always the awareness. Awareness fixated on this, awareness fixated on thinking, awareness is claiming. So, if you could start, like Bob says, that you're already that, then everything that follows is the awareness. There's never been a you doing it. So if you could just maybe even, if you were going to do anything without changing anything, except maybe just a small perception that it's awareness is doing it, not, this is all awareness energy. There is no you to begin with. So
Okay.
you can start with that and just notice how this, it's just a word, just this I gets thrown on everything. Just notice that the I is being thrown on that. I mean, that I am, we've taken to be the body mind, and it's not. It's actually awareness energy being everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the
Okay.
awareness picking up the energy. It's awareness writing the story. It's awareness focused on saying that I, the thought I am, and taking itself to be the body mind. It's not you taking yourself to be a body mind. It's you're already that. So it has to be the awareness claiming itself to be the body mind, and the thought in claiming everything. And it's impersonal. So it's the awareness writing a personal story about what is, but it's part of the play. So it's not necessarily wrong. It's just a recognition that that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you are recognizing it. I hear it, every other word you say, you're recognizing it, but then you throw it away so fast. You're like, yeah, and then, So just keep noticing. And, the more I notice, it seems like Kat's beautiful story about the salty dog. It's the I that disappears, this concept of who you are, this belief, just starts deconstructing this story that you so carefully constructed about who you are, starts deconstructing, and it's just the natural process. It's frustrating, at least it was for me. It was harrowing. Oh my God, it was so traumatic because I was not letting go of that. And but I wasn't doing that. I thought, wow. And I kept saying, hurry up, universe, get this thing going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
That's what I'm thinking. I just want to be further along than I am,
yeah.
but
you can't make demands on the universe. It
no.
is what it is. And if it takes the rest of your life, it'll take the rest of your life. It'll take the next minute or whatever. But it doesn't take away the fact that you're already that and you never left.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Thank you.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, about the only thing these meetings can really help, with is to deconstruct the story about the identity we've taken ourselves to be, because we're already that. So we're not creating anything or discovering anything new.
Yeah.
Because we're already that. So we have to look at the things that, and it's my favorite pointer is to start with the fact that you're already that, and everything else is a lie.
That's it.